This is our 1979 Honda CX500. Now, we bought this bike last year. We originally bought this bike from an estate sale, brought it back here to the shop, tried to fire it up and realized the engine was locked up. That turned into a whole thing. It's not moving at all.
You're hitting a 2x4.
I am hitting the 2x4. I'm splitting the 2x4. But we got it running. Yeah! 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 Then, after seeing this picture right here, we decided we were gonna turn it into an adventure bike. We were getting pretty far along on the project. Then BJ from Brickhouse Builds reached out.
Is this the right place?
He's the fellow that built the bike that gave us the inspiration for this one. He came to the shop, we hung out for a day, he rebuilt the carburetors, rebuilt the front end, I did the front caliper, put new head gaskets on, we realized the fan was shot, added big tires that barely fit, mounted the headlight, we did a bunch of stuff. And he almost actually missed his flight on the way home because we were still working at it. Now, we're back at it, we're gonna get some work done, this is gonna be a lot of fun. My goal for this video is to have the bike running on the tank, not an IV bottle, basically running and moving and stopping under its own power. Fingers crossed. Okay, well, I'd be lying if I said the first thing I didn't want to play with was the tire groover. It doesn't want to spin. That's a problem on a motorcycle. Here's why. It's hitting the swing arm, or the, well, swing arm drive shaft housing. It's a little too hot, maybe.
This is amazing. Keep going, Craig. You got this.
Oh, okay. So there, I think I bent the knife is what I did.
Craig, why'd you do that?
Nice. Ah, that's hot. Yeah, that barely helped. Let's find something else to do. What do we got under here?
What's that stuff in there?
Do we not have a key for this bike?
I think that's correct. We didn't get a key for either of these bikes.
Oh, it was this rolling around, okay. That was slopping around in there, that's what we heard. Okay, our tank's not horrible. Okay, so we need to get in here to this fan. See how that fan's all wibbly wobbly?
I can hear it all wiggly wobbly.
That shouldn't be wibbly wobbly. This we can get out of the way, that looked stupid hanging there. Okay, so we start pulling this stuff here, and the radiator. We'll work at getting to that fan. I feel like I've had this thing apart so many times, I should know by now what all needs to come off. That's what we're looking for right there.
Just tighten the bolt.
Just tighten the bolt.
Yeah, that's probably all it is. Taking it off, rookie mistake.
I gotta try to find a puller that fits in there. It's gonna be next to impossible, Dan. That might work. See, Dan, that wasn't so hard. I don't know why you were getting all excited. All right, now, you know what it would be a good time for?
For what?
It would be a good time
yeah.
to inventory what we have here quick. Okay, clutch cover gasket for the exhaust, calipers, petcock, battery box, controls, pod filters, bunch of hardware. These are for, I don't know, foot pegs maybe, brake parts, hard parts that we didn't use, stuff for the exhaust, Let's just get that out of the way for now. Oh, people have been asking about the lights. That light and stuff, it's just the Road Shock from Harbor Freight. Pretty nice lights. Okay, so we'll put the fan on.
Slap it in there, maybe it'll be tight this time.
Oh, it's tight. You can tell. Look, it's tight already. What happens? See, it's plastic fan with an aluminum.
Yeah, that old one is a loosey goose.
I wonder how many foot-pounds they want that at. Couple little ugga-duggas with the small ugga-dugga. While the radiator is off and we have room up in here, we're going to put new clutches in because they were rusted fast. New clutch spring's going to pull the starter. If you remember from the first one of the videos, we had to pull the starter apart and we knocked a bunch of crud out of the starter to get the starter to turn. So that's going to go to the shop and get rebuilt. And then it's going to I'm going to start buttoning some things up here. I guess I should drain the oil first. The other thing I'm going to have to do is extend my kickstand and my center stand because I put taller shocks on and now these are too short. So that's gonna have to happen.
I thought we did change the oil.
We did, but I had to drain it again here to get the clutch out. Now, if I do this right, I'll drop almost all the bolts and stuff into the oil pan. So we have a nut and a washer.
Those look scrumptious.
Jeez. It's pretty grody. It'll clean up. Let's get these soaking in some oil. Okay, we'll let them soak for a little bit. We're gonna sand those metal plates. Clutch is in. Okay, so throttle cables, we're getting the controls. We're gonna hook up throttle cables quick. And then I need to do oil, spark plugs, some electricals, and I wanna hear this thing run. So if you remember, we haven't gotten this bike started actually since the first time we got it started. We got the motor unstuck and then got it to fire up. Actually, just play that clip. Come on! Yeah! 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 See, that was fun, wasn't it?
That was oodles.
What we need to do is get this motorcycle to fire up, and then we need to turn it into the adventure bike.
Yes.
So let's start with...
In that order.
That is the order I'd like to do this in, if you'll allow me. Let's get these out. Which way do these want to come out?
Who will allow you?
You.
Me?
Or the comments, whoever. All right, pull cable. There we go. So we have throttle. What do we want next, Dan? This is what's coming out of the engine.
Oh, that's tasty.
It's like sludge, man. That's why I have the bike up so high. I kind of been flushing things out. I got a bunch of oil filters. I think we're at the point now where we're just gonna fill it up and run it. All right, here we go, here we go, here we go.
Here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go.
Next, we need spark plugs, right?
Probably.
Hello. Yep, nobody's in there. Okay, so now we have spark plugs. We have oil. Carbs are on. Let me tighten them up. Do the other side. Nice. Okay, so we can get some fuel to it. Let's hook up some electricals. And this is as easy as finding things that match and are close. Like this matches and it's close.
My 2-year-old would be awesome at this game.
Right? Yo. The best video, I think, on the internet is when the guy is like, he has the kids game with the lid, with the shapes and the blocks. Do you know which one I'm talking about?
You brought this up a few times.
Oh my gosh, I love it, dude. Her brain, you can watch her brain break.
Goes
The
into
triangle.
right.
Triangle.
That's right. A square hole.
It's I feel bad for the girl, honestly. But my word, that's a funny video.
I thought she was acting.
Maybe she was. Don't ruin it for me.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Okay, so this is starter. So this is going to go to the starter solenoid. We're going to follow this wire diagram. Come here, Dan. This is the area I'm working on. And this is our roadmap of how we're going to figure out what we're doing. So starter, this black lead, here's the lead I just hooked up to the starter relay. The heavy red wire, that's going to go to the battery. And then we need to put a main fuse in. That is these two here, I believe. So we're gonna wire these two. We're gonna put a 20 amp main fuse in to that. But we need to figure out how to trigger the solenoid. So down here we have yellow, yellow, red, follow yellow, red. Goes up to the starter button. Then we have green, red. Green, red comes up here, and then it breaks off. One goes to the clutch switch diode, which is up in the fuse box, and the other one goes to the clutch switch. Okay, so if we have fuse box is up here, so we should have green, red in this plug. So here we have green, red, and now we should have continuity, this green, red. Nice. And then the other side, this yellow, red, yeah, right to the start button. So I'm going to test the starter button. When it's free, I have continuity between the black, yellow, and the black. When I push it, I need to be getting continuity between the black and the yellow, red. Now that yellow, red runs all the way down here to the solenoid. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to test the whole shoot and match, the whole harness. If it doesn't work from here to here, then I'll start tracing. But if it works, I don't have to. So I want to go to black, and then if we go to yellow, red here, and I hit my button, there we go. Okay, cool. And we add the continuity on the other wire. So that tells me everything's intact from the starter button down here to this plug. And I think I even got lucky enough that these plugs are going to work. There we go. Here, main fuse. We need a 28 amp main fuse. Look at this. I should just cut all that away.
What is it for?
This is what we're going to hook our fuse into.
Oh yeah, cut the awful bits away.
Okay, so this is just going to be an inline fuse block. That'll go to the battery, and then we need a 20 amp fuse for in here. I'll be dipped. There's already one in. I didn't plan that.
Look at that.
We're just going to set this in here. Not hooking a ground up yet. Nice thing about this bike is we have electric start. We don't have to kick and kick. I was hooking up this battery. I think I have everything wired correctly. Okay. No, here we go.
Hey!
Okay.
That's progress.
I like it. Try it with a little more juice. Nice, okay. Let's hook up this exhaust and let's see if we can get a little life into this bike. Times you just have to do this to remind yourself to have fun. I'm not even putting exhaust gaskets in. That's how much fun I'm gonna have.
Dang.
Yo, right? Mm-hmm. Oh, is that bracket in my way? I'm gonna run it without the air cleaners. I'm gonna try to. I just wanna get a little gas to it. See if we got some life. Okay, so we have some fuel, we have some electric, we got a battery charge. This brings back a lot of memories. Got a fire extinguisher.
That's the important part. That's handy, right? Everybody knows where it's at.
Switch sides.
Craig.
It's not perfect, but it's not bad.
Still runs, which is more than we can say about the Samurai.
Okay, I know that doesn't seem like a lot or sound like a lot, but that's actually a really big step because now I'm excited again. Now I can clean up a little of this stuff, zip tie some things out of the way. We need to cut that tire, get the tank on, and hopefully we can get this thing out for a ride. Went and grabbed the knobby knife. For you guys that don't know what a knobby knife is, it's for dirt bike guys. And what you do, I don't even know if they still make this thing, if I'm being honest. They may not. So this is a sharp edge and it gets hot. And then as you ride, see how this corner, you have a sharp corner on your knob? Well, what happens is this corner starts getting rounded off. So as your tire wears, your leading edge rounds off. So what you can do, a lot of tires, you just flip it and then you have a nice square edge again. What the knobby knife does is this allows you to come in and just peel off that edge of the knob and it makes a sharp knob again so you don't have to flip your tire. I'm hoping this works a lot better than the tire groover. That didn't work for cutting these knobs to clearance the drive shaft tube.
It's still a little more than what it was designed for.
If we come in this way and just we should be okay. We'll see. So we need to do that. We need to get the tank on. I need to get the air filters on. I need to get the oil drained and switched out. Some things around. Oh, clutch cable is going to be pretty important. I don't have front brakes, but we got St. Pete. We don't even have rear brakes at the moment. I can figure out rear brakes pretty quick. They're drum. Okay, we got a plan, Dan.
Let's do it.
Let's add some coolant to this thing. Now that the radiator is back on, see if we got any leaks, and then we'll fire it up again. Well, tank's on. Zip tie this up, and then we go for a ride. We haven't ridden this bike yet, so this will be a first. We haven't even ran it off the tank, let alone drive it, ride it. I think a guy would have ordered a new clutch lever. Maybe I should look in the book to see how they route this. But for now, this is okay. Man, that's tight. There we go. That seems to be working good. Now let's get some coolant in it. See what we got for that. All right, we'll let that settle in. So we got coolant in it. What else do we need to address here? Front brake. I want to see if I can find that banjo bolt for the front brake. This wire here, okay, we're going to have to address this stuff here too in order to get the tank on. We can adjust the clutch. We have to tighten this. Let's take this stuff off. This is just temporary till I get through and clean up all the electric, all the wiring. Or at least now it's manageable. Some like burnt wires and stuff. Hopefully that doesn't cause us any issues when we take it for our test ride.
The wires are already burnt. That means they're not going to burn again.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, because lightning doesn't...
Never strikes twice. Moving on down the line. Not sure what we're going to do for battery, because what we got going on here isn't going to work. Okay, we'll figure that out. Okay, here we have the choke cable. While I have the tank off, I'm going to put the choke cable on quick. Let's get that over here to this side of things, because that's where it belongs. So this one is actually a choke, because what it's doing is it's closing this butterfly right here. See? So it closes that. That's closing off air. That's eliminating the air, and there's more fuel. So this one is actually a choke and not an enricher. There you go. All right, so Dan, let's figure out a battery here quick. Positive. Negative. It's not great. All right, so we'll come back to the battery. Let's switch gears and let's do the tank. It's like, dude, what do you think of my new TrueWork sweatshirt?
Very nice. Looks comfy.
Look at you, dude. Let me see this. There. Dan's all TrueWorked out. Now through November 3rd, TrueWork's having a buy one, get one 30% off their technical workwear pants.
Yeah, dude, I love them. We're both wearing this stuff all the time.
Yeah, no joke, man. I wear this stuff every day. It's been holding up well. I really, really like it. It's comfortable. We'll put a link down in the description for you. Go check them out. Good stuff. What were we doing? Tank. Let's set this tank on. Seems to be all right for a test of my ride. Okay, next let's do air filters. Air filters? I still don't even have a front brake. Dan, where are your priorities?
Where are my priorities? I'm sorry, my priorities are filming this nonsense.
Now I'm gonna give my disclaimer. I know these need oiled. I'm not oiling them right now because I don't want to create a mess, but they will be oiled. Okay, so then we got a fuel line here. Let's address this fuel line. All right, let's bleed the front brake. We'll get some grips on. We'll tighten that up. Seat, battery. Hopefully this thing will go down the road, man.
Well, the nice thing about the tire being, the rear tire being on really tight, you don't need a rear brake.
That's right.
Rear brake's always on, always engaged a little bit for safety.
I'm really excited to get over like all this little mechanical stuff and then like start doing fun, cool stuff. But this needs to be done, so we have to do
The
it.
unfortunate truth about things that have to be done.
That's right.
They got to be done, that we may be unburdened by them.
Because what has been left undone has burdened us.
I was raised in a middle-class home.
Is that a corn kernel inside the master cylinder?
Yo, what?
So everything is dry. Let's crack this bleeder or crack this line down here. Ah, dang it.
Sploosh.
Yeah, that sploosh is not what we want. I don't want that stuff all over. That'll wreak havoc on our paint. Starting to get some action. Lever's starting to stiffen up there at the end of the travel. Oh, that was a good one. Exciting bleeding brakes, Dan, isn't it?
The most exciting.
Okay, so we need fuel line and we need to figure out how we're gonna set the battery somewhere. All right, but let's get fuel line and then that's done. And the filter, I'm coming at you, Dan. Coming at you, silly man Dan. Going back up. Oh, wait.
What?
I might have just done a classic epic fail.
An epic fail?
I don't think there's front brake pads in here.
Ruh-roh.
There we go. Brake pads. Look at that. I actually used my knife to cut something.
Wow. As opposed to what? Just getting lost?
Just scraping or prying or unscrewing. And we'll give it a snip about here. And we'll put the fuel filter on here. Okay, so this can get tightened up. We're gonna want grips to go for a ride, aren't we?
I mean, you don't need them, but could be neat.
We're gonna want them. What if this thing have the cranking sauce? It almost even fits. We should get ourselves a dope lithium battery to sit up into here. That's what we need. And that could be test ride worthy right there, my friend.
Oh yeah, slap that in there.
Slap a ding dong.
Yeah, dude, just get a big old zip tie and...
All right, let's get this thing set up so then we'll have a battery.
Glug, glug, glug.
Okay, so now we're gonna let that soak and off gas here for 30 minutes is good, an hour is better. That lets everything, all that acid soak into the cells and flood everything nice, lets it off gas a little bit, then we put the cap on, and then we stick a charger on it. If we use it right now the way, like, rush all of this, it'll have a charge, but it'll just be a lot of surface charge. You won't get a good deep charge on your battery. So when you're prepping batteries and setting batteries up, it's just a good idea to take your time, go through the process, and it'll last longer for you. So that's gonna do that. Let's throw these grips on here quick. Trick works for taking them off and putting them on. Now, one thing to note, we are gonna run handguards on this bike, wraparound handguards. Those bolt into the handlebar end. So if you're setting a bike up for the first time with wraparound guards, what you wanna be careful of is that your throttle tube is actually recessed a little bit from the end of the handlebar. And then you're gonna wanna make sure you have enough clearance on your grip. If this throttle tube is proud of the handlebar, when you tighten down your handguard, your throttle tube's gonna stick. So you don't want that to happen. So make sure it sits recessed. Now you know. My disclaimer, don't try this at home, Dan.
What'd you decide to hold it in place, Craig? Twine? Electrical tape?
Well, it's an electrical battery, so I figured an electrical tape.
That's a very, very good point.
Just made sense.
Nailing it, Craig.
I ain't going nowhere.
It'll go somewhere later, not today.
Not today.
Sincerely hope all this was worth it.
Wouldn't that be something,
If
dude?
this doesn't start, are you just gonna trash the whole project? Watch what you say, Craig. Craig says, you know what? We got enough things to do.
I got enough going on.
Hear that, BJ? He said he was okay with you coming all the way over here for nothing.
Oh.
It wasn't for nothing. The real adventure bike was the friends we made along the way.
That's right. Can't make an adventure bike without meeting adventure bike friends.
Yeah.
geez. They touched, the leads touched.
Holy cow.
Oh, cranks. Crankety cranks.
Yeah, it cranks, it thumps.
Thumps. Blah, 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 blah. It's gonna go. Clearly, this thing's gonna be a runner.
Clearly.
All right.
Did you leave your key in there? Is that why it's doing that?
No, my key was off. I bypassed it
Oh, that's
when
right.
I jumped those.
That's right.
How does this section here come off? This center stand. We are going to put this back on. I need to extend it though, so it needs to come off to get extended anyway.
Hey!
Dan, let's clean up your mess.
Is it time?
It's time to clean up the table.
Oh, yeah. Everyone's favorite.
It's everyone's favorite time.
Does it still not spin?
I mean, it spins, but it needs more.
An engine will at least power through that.
I would think so. Okay. We need to put some gas in this thing. My filters still aren't oiled, but that's all right. We'll work through that when we need to.
Get this done. Don't forget a helmet, Craig.
Well, let's put a little gas in it and let's get it to start.
We don't even know how well that tank holds gas.
That's true.
That's the first time you've drained it. And
that's true. We don't even know if the petcock has petcocking abilities. I don't know if we're gonna have enough gas to make anything happen here, but.
Oh, that's enough gas to make it happen.
Okay, so let's put this on there. Close that. Let's get a little fuel flow in here. Turn that to there. Oh, okay. We have fuel flowing. That's good. And we do have oil. All right, let's hit the button and see what happens here. So we got that. That's on. Let's flip this choke.
Right away. Doing it, Craig. It's running off the tank.
We're doing it. Nice. Okay. We can work with this so far, but we still haven't rode it. Still haven't rode it. Or drove it. Or ride it. Or ridden it.
Or rode in it.
Or rode in it. Or rode on it. I pushed it a lot. Well, that's exciting, Dan. All right. Well, all right. I'm going to take it off the table. So I got all excited to pull this off the table and go up and down the block real quick with it. And then now the front brake's not working. So I'm like, all right, well, I've done this before. I can use the rear. And my rear brake spring's gone. So I don't have rear brakes either. I don't know exactly where it is. So I'm just going to find a spring here that'll work. This looks like it'll work. Exhaust spring, brake spring. This is going to barely work-ish. Yeah, better than nothing, baby. Give this brake spring a couple cranks. I'm glad I pulled it off the table to do all this. Let's be honest, the only reason I am riding this is because Dan said I had to for the video, so you're welcome. Let's run it. That should slow me down at least. All right. Now, as long as I don't stand up and do tricks, that'll stay on. There we go. Okay, so remember, we have crappy rear brakes, no front brakes. All right. Yeah, I'm just going real nice and slow. I don't want to end up in a ditch today. Object here is to make sure it all works kind of appropriate. Hear that cylinder cutting in and out. Well, I think this bike is kind of worth some more effort. So we're going to keep building it. My neighbor's got to love me. So I'm excited to take it to the next step. And this thing is going to be a fun adventure bike when we're done. We got to, well, that was good timing. We did a lot of work to get this bike to this point, just so we could take it up and down the block to realize if it was good or not to continue. But for now, we need to get to work on this Harley V-Rod for the build-off between Sean and Paul Sr. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Dan's gonna put a video here and here. Check them out, and they're gonna love them. Have a great weekend. See you later.